Good morning everybody and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. And this morning I come to you from the overseas passenger terminal, and as you can see in the background we have that magnificent view of the Sydney Opera House. And if we pan around we can see that little ferry on its run through the harbour. And we've got the city skyscape in the background there. There's lots of development happening around Sydney, even though we're in COVID-19 and times are tough. There are cranes everywhere. I've never seen so many cranes in the city. So it's a wonderful sight, and let's hope that the development will continue and the economy will hopefully bounce back. What I'd like to do though is take some time while I've got you here to chat to you about a topic which is near and dear to my heart. Many years ago, so almost 40 years ago, I had a chat with a fellow who was an accountant, and I was studying accounting at university, so we chatted about a number of different things. But he was a very lovely man, well-mannered gentleman, very successful in his own right, and my Auntie Anna used to work for him when he had his accounting practice in North Sydney. His name was Mr. Hages, who he has now since passed away, and he had a beautiful wife, and I remember them together. They were lovely, they were well suited to each other, and they seemed to be very happy. And as a young engaged man, I summoned up the courage and asked Mr. Hages what his secret was for happiness, given that he was married for many years. He was a career person, he had children who went on to become successful as well. So I thought I'd just bounce some ideas off him just to work out what made him tick and what his views were. And what he told me was very interesting and has stayed with me ever since. He said that from his experience in life, the most important thing is to not be greedy. Not to be greedy, and to try and do everything in moderation. So we've heard the term moderation many times in our lives, but he took it to the next level. Not only did he say that we should live life in moderation and not to excess, he also impressed upon me that it's very important not to become fanatical about causes, about issues, because it will eat you. It'll eat you away. And we see now on Facebook and with our friends and family that a lot of people get caught up with a preoccupation which consumes them in many ways and basically distracts them from the beauties of life and from living a comfortable life without too many hassles and stresses. For some reason, and I don't understand why, a lot of people get hung up on bloody issues that consume them, that ruin their friendships, that isolate them and basically ostracize them from their friends and family and from their community. So based on Mr. Hages' advice, his advice was steer clear of those sorts of fanatical ideas. No, have your ideas, and if they differ very radically from what other people think, then keep them to yourself. You don't need to share your feelings and ideas with everybody, especially if it's going to cause discomfort to others or discomfort to yourself. The other thing that he touched on, which was also very important, was to be moderate in all areas of your life, and not to go to extremes. But he also talked about with food. He says, yes, eat. No, eat, enjoy your food, but don't be greedy. Don't overeat, because through overeating, you'll put on weight, you'll have health issues, and they'll catch up on you later in life. So in terms of eating, in terms of drinking, don't overdrink. You know, you don't want to become an alcoholic. You don't want to have the social issues that come with drinking too much or depending too much on drinking or alcohol. You know, don't overdo anything. Don't overeat sugars. Don't well, you know, not only don't overdo drugs, don't take drugs at all, was his advice to me back then. So, you know, and don't overwork. The other thing that he also mentioned was it's important to work and to be career-minded, but you need to find a balance. If you overdo work and become a workaholic, then you're going to have issues with your relationships, with your health, with your friends, with your wife, with your children. So everything has a consequence, he said. So when it comes to eating, when it comes to drinking, when it comes to socializing, when it comes to ideas and causes, he said, be very, very careful that you don't overdo it. So it was advice which was most welcomed to me as a young man, because I was about to embark on a career at IBM, which, you know, if I wasn't careful, the IBM could have become an anagram for of being married, you know. So the important thing is to balance everything, to take everything in your stride, and to enable you to live a full life without damaging or creating massive damage along the way in terms of broken relationships, broken friendships, and financial catastrophe and health issues that you carry for the rest of your life. So how do we use this for children, young people? The best way to use it is to, once again, take Mr. Hages' advice. Do lots of things in your life. Have a long and varied life, but don't become fanatical about anything in particular. Don't become overly dependent on, you know, indulgences like food, drink, smoking, drugs. You know, exercise, but do it in moderation. You know, it's important to exercise, but we don't want to end up crippled one day. But by the same token, we need to exercise, he also mentioned. So there's a balance. So too much or too little is where the damage is. So you need to be like the three bears. You need to try and work out for you just what is just right. What is just right for you. Not for anybody else, but for you. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to live with the consequences of your actions. You're the one who's going to live with the benefits and rewards of your actions as well. So you want to be able to spend your days enjoying your work and everything that you've done over your life, without looking back and having problems and issues and broken relationships that you look at and you hate yourself for. Anyway, that's enough from me for today. Let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel great. To all my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's take the late Mr. Hages' advice and to live with moderation. Let's not overdo it or underdo it, but try and get it right for us, and not to become too fanatical and too preoccupied by any particular cause, which at the end of the day doesn't benefit us in any way. Anyway, take care, and until tomorrow, I look forward to speaking with you at 5 a.m. on Jim's 5 a.m. Club. And let me quickly do a little pano so you can see this beautiful Sydney Harbour, Circular Quay on this beautiful day here in Sydney. And as you can see, it's empty. It's like a ghost town. This COVID-19 has really brought things to a sudden halt again, and we'll see where it takes us. But until next time, ciao for now, que yasas. Bye. Cheers.